Greetings from Brother Stephen. I'm a disciple and witness of Iēsous Christ. To all the inhabitants of the earth, I present to you as a witness this gospel of the kingdom. In this lesson today, titled Pilate Washes His Hands, we'll be going over Matthew chapter 27, verses 24 through 26. This testimony is also recorded in Mark, so we're going to go over that subsection of scripture as well. Beginning in Mark chapter 15, verses 12 through 15. The subsection of scripture is known as Pilate delivers Iēsous to be crucified. It says, And Pilate answered and said again unto them, What will you then that I shall do unto him whom you call King of the Iēsous? And they cried out again, Crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, Why? What evil have he done? And they cried out all the more exceedingly, Crucify him. We get to Matthew chapter 27, verse 24 says, And when Pilate saw that he could not prevail nothing, but rather a tumult, which means a riot, was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. When you go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 6, it says, Whose shed man's blood, means whosoever, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim made he man. When you go to Exodus 21, 12, and 14, this is the personal injury law. In the Torah, it says, He that murdereth man so that he die shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie in wait, and if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hands, means this is accidental, then I will appoint a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously, this means hot, upon his neighbor, to murder him with intent, he shall take him from mine altar, that he may die. And we go over this subsection of scripture in the lesson titled Unforgivable Sins. Proverbs 6 and 16 says, These 6 things do Jehovah hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Get to Matthew 27 and 25. It says, Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. When you go to Numbers 14 and 18, it says, Jehovah is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, and unto the third and fourth. In other words, the great-grandchildren, and so on. When you go to Exodus 20 and 5, it says, Visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children, unto the third and fourth of them that hate him. And then again in Exodus 37 and Exodus 34 and 7, it says, Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquities and transgressions and sins, and that all by no means clearing the guilty. And that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, and unto the third and fourth. Again, just means so on and so on. When you go to Matthew chapter 24, verses 32 to 35, again, the subsection of scripture is known as the lesson of the fig tree. Verse 32 says, Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When this branch is yet tender and put forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verily I say unto you, this generation, the same generation that killed Christ in the age of Pisces. He says this age of Pisces shall not pass to all these things be fulfilled. And one of these things he's talking about being fulfilled is the signs of his coming and his judgment that is going to come upon the wicked. Verse 35 says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And again, we go over this subsection of scripture in detail when you go to the study title, The Lesson of the Fig Tree, when we cover Matthew chapter 24, verses 32 to 35. We're back at the main subsection of scriptures, Matthew 27:26. It says, then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Iēsous, scourged or flagged or whipped, he delivered him to be crucified. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them, and delivered Iēsous when he had scourged him to be crucified. And this concludes this gospel.